Hi, my name is Emily. Welcome to my garden. It's the place where dreams are cultivated. I have a great show planned for you today. Stay tuned and watch me take a rabbit out of a hat. See you in a minute. I'm with Cheryl Walsh at Evergreen Farm in Taunton, Massachusetts. And we saw each other not too long ago at the Rehoboth Fair. But I wanted to see her operation. So here we are. Thanks for having me come in, Cheryl.
Nice to have you.
Now this is an Angora rabbit. This is the one that you spin. She spins these rabbits, not literally.
No, just the wool, not the rabbit.
Just the wool. The rabbit is put on your lap.
You can spin off their back. As long as they're blowing coat. If they're not going to like it too much.
Which is why we're not showing a demonstration today, because the idea is not to pull the fur off of their back.
No, when they're shedding out the coat, you can take all the loose fur, and they're quite comfortable. You just put a towel across your lap and just pull the loose fur, and you can spin it right into yarn right off your lap.
And as we said before, it helps the rabbit because it keeps them from being matted. You're grooming them.
You have to. They don't, unlike the other rabbits, it doesn't shed and come off. You actually have to pull it out through the guard hairs. So you do need to do this about 3 or 4 times a year, just get all the extra wool that comes off. This is a young rabbit, so he's got still a baby coat. He won't lose a coat now until it gets closer to winter time, and then he'll shed out his baby fur and he'll start growing in a winter coat. This one here is a giant Angora, and his ears are clean. There's no tasseling on the ends, and his face around his muzzle is clean also. There's no wool around it. And if you look at the one next to him, this little guy, oh good, he's going to come right up front. He's got tasseling on the ears, and he's got a little mustache.
Looks like an Ewok. Or a stuffed animal at the very least.
And the English are a little smaller than the giants too. They don't weigh as much. They'll get to be about 7.5 pounds when they're full grown. They come in different colors. The most common color for wool is white. There's a reason for that. Once you get it off, you can dye it any color. Pink, green, purple, blue, brown, black, whatever. With the colored wool, you're pretty much, that's what you're going to have to use. You can dye it, but it's not going to uptake the dye as much.
Right.
If you want a natural color to make like mittens or scarves or anything, you can't beat this. Because Mother Nature makes this. You can't dye it. This is Hyacinth. She's in English, you can tell by the tasseling. And the smoky color around her face, she's called a blue cream tort.
She's gorgeous.
And I think she's beautiful. The Angoras are owned by my mother-in-law, Louise Walsh. She's the one that started the farm 26 years ago. She specializes only in Angoras. She's got the giants and she's got English, and she also has satin.
Because she's a master spinner.
She is. She's been spinning for years, and she's got the carpal tunnel to prove it. But it is a passion. This is little Sweetums. She is a satin Angora. You can either use this as a full 100% satin, or you can blend it with other Angora and you get that shine. It's beautiful. So this is in English. This is an adult English. She's getting ready to blow her coat. You can see the little flebs sticking out.
Okay, so that's kind of a signal for you.
That's kind of a signal,
to get that spinning wheel out again.
Exactly.
When she's on the grooming table, you might save it.
There's 2 ways you can do this. There's either what we call hand plucked, which is the best, because it's just the loose fiber, you're just pulling it off, there's no sharp ends. Or you could take shears or scissors and just buzz it right down to nothing. That's called cut. Hand cut is what everybody really goes for. That goes about $7 an ounce, and this stuff weighs almost nothing. This is just a few hairs, but this stuff is so light, it'll float. It's like dandelion fuzz. There's no weight to it. So you can imagine how much you get for an ounce.
I guess that would be your weight in gold.
I have 5 breeds. These are dwarves. These are all blue-eyed whites. They're normally between 2.5 to 3 pounds full grown.
And little ears. The ears aren't as big.
Very little ears. That's part of the breed. Just
almost
taking a
looks
nap.
like a cat.
Sabrina.
Pretty eyes.
There's what's called a Vienna gene. What that does is it gives them the blue eye color instead of the red eye color like you saw in the Angoras.
Now, as far as the care, if you were to buy a rabbit, shots, anything like that?
They don't need shots. In England they have a problem with a couple of diseases, but we've been lucky enough in this country they've been able to keep any outbreaks under wraps. The only thing you really need to worry about is making sure that they have pellets and hay, and it should be Timothy hay, not alfalfa. Alfalfa's too rich. And one of the biggest myths out there is that they love lettuce and you should give a rabbit lettuce. That's the worst thing you can feed them.
Really?
It's loaded with water, very little nutrition, and if you give a rabbit lettuce, you're going to give them a raging case of diarrhea, and they could actually die from dehydration.
Wow.
They're not rodents, they're lagomorphs, and their digestive system is actually closer to a horse's than anything else. And you know how horses are very finicky, they get colic at the drop of a hat. Same thing with them. If they get too much fluids, they're going to have diarrhea. If they don't have enough water to drink, they'll stop eating because their gut will shut down, and they'll get a condition called gut stasis, where their food will just stop processing. So as long as you keep them the pellets and the hay and plenty of water to drink, you're golden. Little treats like dry Cheerios, those are safe. Any rabbit under 6 months of age, I give a 2-page care sheet to all my pet owners when they leave. No fruits and vegetables until they're 6 months old to be safe. And most breeders I know do the same. And lettuce is never, ever. Same thing with celery because there's a lot of water in it.
Carrots are okay, obviously.
Carrots are okay, apples, some of them like banana.
I've been told that you can also house train them.
You can.
They like wires though. That's nothing that you can break them up as
No, you've got to bunny-proof a room. That's
Yep.
what I normally tell people is pick one room in the house, bunny-proof that room, hide the wires. You can get covers that fit along the walls to cover them up. Make sure that there's nothing they can get into like behind a stove or behind a refrigerator, because if they can fit in there, they're going to go in there. They have no sense of danger.
Your little bunny rabbits.
Well, and they investigate, so you can see they investigate everything with their teeth. They will normally pick one spot in their cage as a bathroom area, so you capitalize on that. You basically confine them to a small area, like one room. Don't let them have the run of the house, because if they're 2 rooms away, they're just going to go where they are. I do get a lot of calls around Easter. Usually I don't have many rabbits available at that time of year because
they're not ready.
They're just starting to breed at that time, or they're just born and they're not ready to go yet. I also give people the Easter Bunny speech, which is, do you really want this Easter Bunny for a pet? Is this just going to be a toy?
They did that with the chicks.
Yes,
and
exactly.
They abused it, and I think it's hard to get chicks now.
There's a law in Massachusetts, you now have to buy a minimum of 6, and it was because of people buying them as basically toys for their children.
Turtles too.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing.
I come from an animal background. I was a vet tech. I've worked at a zoo. I've worked at pet stores. I help out at the Animal Rescue League. If you're going to take a pet in, you should be ready to take care of that pet till the end of its life.
This is the biggest breed that you have. That is one big rabbit.
She weighs about 15 pounds. Some of them get bigger. I think last time I weighed her 15 pounds, 8 ounces. This is the largest of the rabbit breeds, and I have to use both arms when I pick her up. She's very big.
You can see with you holding the rabbit how large she really is. Oh my God.
She is an armful. So
how tall are you?
Not very tall, but she is heavy.
It's not Harvey, is it? That's no.
No. Not the 6-foot-tall rabbit, no. She's got 8 babies in that little pile. It only takes 31 days from when they breed to when they have the babies, from conception to delivery. The females go into season 2 days after they give birth. They will go into season again and they're receptive to the male. So they can actually be pregnant while they're feeding the first litter. And of course 4 weeks later they've got another litter, so they kick the first one to the side and then they start feeding the brand new babies. So they can actually have a litter every month.
But again, that's why a regular owner, if they have a male and female, they keep having babies, they don't know why. Yeah. They are the sign of fertility.
And that's the reason why.
They're associated with Easter, by the way. Thank you so much for letting me come in and see the rabbits today. And
you're very welcome.
I'll see you back at Emily's garden in just a minute. It's just a hop, skip, and jump to some creative table arrangements I'd like to share with you today. I thought I'd start off by showing you this great table that I made earlier this summer. All I did was take an old table, painted it brightly, cut out a circle, and as you can see, I've inserted a pot with some flowers that I can enjoy whenever I have guests. I had a great time today. We part until we meet again. See you next time back at Emily's garden.
That's all, folks.